What is up, everybody? It's me, Duke Farley, back at it again here, and I am talking to another contestant that is going into the Ascendance Live Season 4 house. I'm talking to Eric. Eric, what's going on? How are you? What's up?
You know, May has already been kind of a crazy month for me. I'm taking my finals this week, so I have all of that going on, and then next week I'm going to be preparing for Ascendance. So it's going to be a hectic month. I'm also visiting my mom down in Virginia Beach right now, so got that going on. So it's a lot, but it's fun. I'm loving it. So.
And final, you're getting ready for finals, you said?
Yeah. I've already done most of them. I only have one more to do, but
What do
yeah.
you got left on the docket?
I have one for like production slash operations management. Basically like supply chain stuff, boring business stuff. I'm sure nobody knows about.
That's always that's always fun.
For sure.
Uh, Eric, my first question for you is if you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go?
My number one choice always is Austria. I absolutely love Austrian history. I think the country is beautiful. A lot of people want to go to like France or Spain or Italy, those kinds of places. And I think Austria is kind of forgotten and left out of that. But I think it would just be so cool to like learn German and go there and like spend like a week there or something. So that's for sure my choice.
And now, have you been there before?
I've been to most of the United States, but I have not left the United States.
So maybe post college, that's the move.
Maybe. Yeah, I would love to go there, love to go to Canada, love to see like South America or something. Yeah, I have a lot of ideas.
Well, soon enough, you will be going somewhere, and that is the Ascendance Live Season 4 house.
For
And I wanted
sure.
to ask you, Eric, if you could bring a superpower with you this season, what would it be and how would you utilize it?
Ooh, first thing that comes to mind is the ability to be invisible. So that I can like because that's one of the hardest parts about like a live game versus an online game is that online you can talk to everybody at once, but in a live game you have to choose like I'm talking to this person or this group of people. So I would love to I don't know, just see what people are saying behind closed doors. Am I even a part of the conversation? Am I a big part of the conversation? That kind of thing. um so yeah, I would definitely, and maybe this is like the cheaty side of me, but I would also probably try to go to the jury house and see how they're feeling about the players left in the game.
So you might do a 1-2 cheat.
you know, just oh, it's not like I'm communicating with the jury members, but if I know that they want Rob to be the winner, then I'm definitely not going to the finals with Rob.
So you might sit on the jury roundtable too.
Honestly, for sure. Assuming that I'm not on it. Um, yeah, definitely want to do that.
Well, if you can do that this season, I would look forward to watching you or not watching you because you'd be invisible.
Right.
Um, Eric, this is a duo season. Dueling
Mhm.
duos is what they're calling it.
Yeah.
What is something that you bring to your duo that maybe Michael doesn't? And what is something that Michael brings to your guys' duo that maybe you don't?
I think I bring a degree of flexibility that maybe Michael doesn't have when it comes to the game. I, you know, I'm very, very loyal to like one person. That's like my whole thing is that like if you're my one person, I'm loyal to you. And this season, that's Michael. But with regards to like everything else in the game, I'm perfectly fine moving from like one group of people to another depending on the vote. I'm fine doing anything I need to get out who we need to get out. Whereas I think Michael is a little more he's very, very loyal to a larger group of people. So I think he's less willing to turn his back on people that he's friends with. So I think that's something that I bring. But on the other side, I think Michael because he's so loyal and trusting, I think it's harder for people to say like, oh, I don't know where Michael's head is at. Like nobody knows where Michael's head is at, so why don't we all get rid of him? Or saying anything like, oh, Michael's playing the middle and things like that. And those are all reasons that you could say to get rid of me. I would say those are kind of the abilities that we bring to the dynamic. That might mean that at some points I'm not completely voting with him, but he'll for sure always know what I'm doing and vice versa. And yeah, I think it'll be an interesting combination because of those differences.
So you mentioned that you usually have a number one and you're loyal to that person.
Mhm.
Say the opportunity comes up where you have the chance to turn on your duo partner, Michael. Would you
Mhm.
take that chance?
No, I think even if I knew it was a completely unanimous vote against Michael, I couldn't vote against him because why would I? I think in a duo season, it doesn't make sense to get rid of your partner, even if they're the biggest threat in the game, even if, it's final three and I'm making that decision saying like, yeah, I still want to bring Michael to the end. Like, why would I not do that in a duo season? Now, interestingly enough, I was thinking about it and I was thinking about like shows like Survivor, Big Brother, and people who do really well slash win in those games tend to not have their partner at the end. Like I think of like Maggie, or like their partner will go out really early. So like Maggie, like Tyson, like any of those people, Natalie Anderson. So I think there is some benefit to losing your partner really early on, but I would never intentionally sink my own game to try to do that to Michael.
You brought up a point like if you were in a final three scenario and you and Michael were both there, let me just like continue that scenario. Say your perception is Michael is going to beat you in the final two. Would you do it
Mm,
then?
no, because I think for Ascendance in particular, I mean, if the game was for a significant amount of money, probably. But Ascendance, to my knowledge, is not for a large sum of money. So, like,
Yet.
yeah, I don't see yet. So I don't see any reason to betray my number one because if we both make it to the final two, I'm probably just like not caring at that point. I'm probably just having fun with it. Like I'm having fun with the questions. I'm having fun just being there with my partner because nobody else is able to do it. So like people could say whatever they want about my game. Like I still got my partner there. He got me there. Like we're the winners. So that's kind of how I feel about it.
Okay. Would you rather be hated and win the game or lose and be loved?
Um, I mean, I don't know the Ascendance community that well, so I'm fine winning and being hated. If people are like, because one of my biggest complaints about people on Ascendance is like they're not a big enough character. And I feel like I kind of fall into that when I do my gameplay because it can be kind of like under the radar slash boring to watch visually. But if people say that about me, like okay, like if I end up winning, like I don't know what else can I say. Like I don't need to prove anything at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally agree with that. So Eric, say you happen to lose this season. Not
Mhm.
saying that you're gonna, but say the odd chance happens and you do lose.
Yeah.
What's going to be the reason why?
Oh, I think some of my concerns going into the season. One, I'm not a veteran. So if the veterans are like, if I lose Michael for whatever reason early on, and I'm forced to work with the newbies, because I assume that could be a storyline is vets versus newbies. Um, then they could definitely target me for that early on. Um, Slash, I'm just not as well connected probably to the cast. Also, depending on how loyal Michael is to the season one returnees, I could see that being like, oh, well, season one, like they're all together. Why don't we get rid of one of them? But like, we don't want to make the move against Michael because we know Michael and we're friends with him. So why not do it against Eric? So I could definitely see that as being another reason early on. Um, I feel like if I were to go home in the like middle portion of the game, I probably didn't do well enough at not being the counter vote. I would assume that it was because I got idled out in some situation or some advantage was played that got me out at that point because I feel like that's kind of the strong suit of my game. Um, and then if it's near the end game, I just couldn't win the competitions and people thought I was a threat. I think those are kind of the reasons that I go out at each phase of the game.
What's one thing that you wish to accomplish this season?
Um, One thing I want to accomplish, I just want to be proud of the game that I played. I don't want to leave. One of my biggest things is I don't want to leave saying, "Oh, I wish I had done blank." If there was something that I could have very easily done that I didn't do, and that's the reason I didn't go home, or that's the reason I went home, like I didn't talk to someone, or I didn't like I don't know, I threw a challenge or whatever for whatever reason, or something along those lines. I would hate to have that thought in my head. So I kind of just want to go with my gut. I just want to play the game as hard as I can and leave knowing like I did everything in my power um, to stay. And sometimes it's just not good enough. And if I lose, then that's perfectly fine. But if I end up winning, then I want to be proud of the game that I played to win and say like this isn't like oh like by chance he happened to be there with like the one person everyone could beat or like anything like that. I want people to say like well even if he is against that person like he is a good winner, he is somebody that deserves it. At least I want to say that about myself. I don't care if other people say it.
And you don't care if other people hate you.
Yeah, exactly. Like if I'm a hated winner whatever, but if I love myself like
That's
I'm
what
the
matters
best
most.
player, right?
Eric, is there anything else that's interesting that you want to talk about before we conclude this preseason interview?
um I think I think it's going to be really interesting in terms of the dynamics this season because we're going to get more. I assume we're going to get more people who don't know the game as well. Like if Sarah what's her last name? Haywood Hoyle. Like her cousin ends up coming and playing with her. Like that's someone who might not know the game as well. So I think it will be a lot of fun playing with people like that who aren't as familiar, especially as another newbie to the series. Um, so I think going into the season, people should watch out for those people because some of them, even if they've never seen an episode of Survivor or Big Brother, they might be some of the best. So um, yeah, I think that's all I have on my mind.
You did an air quotes when you said referred to yourself as a newbie. Would you say that you wouldn't categorize yourself as a newbie? You kind of feel like you're a veteran a little bit.
I think um like maybe a newbie to the format, but when I look at Ascendance, I kind of think I put it on the same level of in terms of like social and strategic ability as Survivor and Big Brother. I would say it's in between the two in terms of like you like Big Brother competition wins mean more, but in Survivor competition wins mean less than Ascendance. Um, but other than that, like I feel like I'm not that new to it, and I did get to play Ascend the Chaos, so I know the experience of being voted out from a bad team pick, and I know the experience of getting all the way to the Final Four. So I feel like I assume I'll know some of the people on this cast. So yeah, I don't consider myself a complete newbie in that sense.
Well, Eric, I look forward to you playing the season. I look forward to watching you and Michael as a duo and seeing however far you make it.
Awesome, thank you, and I hope I do myself proud.
Yes.